What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Bandersantch Black Mirror review. So if you're new to the channel, please do consider leaving a like and a subscribe down below if you did enjoy the video. So Bandersantch dropped yesterday, and I watched the first, well, it's essentially an episode of Black Mirror, but it is its own interactive movie. As we know, when Black Mirror first came out all those years ago, we had just a few handful of episodes that were released, and then that was it. And then Netflix hit, and we got more episodes in, and they dropped altogether. Now, this is pretty much the prologue, so to speak, or for the new season, for season 5 of Black Mirror. So Black Mirror will be coming out very, very soon, and we'll be getting the brand new season, which I'm excited for. And after last season, I do have no idea how Charlie Brooker is going to actually top what he did last season, but this Bandersantch movie was just amazing. So if you're wondering what a Bandersantch actually is, well, it's a character from Alice Through the Looking Glass, the Lewis Carroll story, the Alice in Wonderland style world, and it's actually a character from that. But this here is a very, very nostalgic trip through 80s England and 80s British computers, which Charlie Brooker should know all about, considering the fact that he rose to prominence being a writer in PC Zone magazine and was obviously grew up in this era of Commodore 64s. And from his writings, I can tell that this is very, very much almost self-biographical, I guess. I'm not too sure of the word there. But overall, this cast is amazing. The young lad here playing Stefan was involved with Dunkirk. He was in Dunkirk. And of course, we've got Will Poulter as well, playing a fantastic role as a prodigious, huge hit factory maker for the Tuckersoft brand. And we also have Chabuddy G. Chabuddy G, if you've watched People Do Nothing, it is just amazing. A funny comedy about pirate radio and garage music in the UK. And if you've never seen it, go and watch it. It is amazing. And Drake himself is also a fan of it because he is very much an Anglophile. And it's weird seeing him, and Chabuddy G, he is the head of Tuckersoft there. So overall, this was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. The idea of this is just really cool. I noticed that, of course, we had Minecraft pop up on Netflix a couple of months ago, or weeks. I'm not too sure exactly when I first saw it. And I could tell that they were moving towards this kind of thing. If you know about interactive media, you think Telltale games. The precursor was obviously Choose Your Own Adventure books, which I used to love as a kid. And of course, they mentioned The Hobbit, which was one of the earliest of the adventure titles on the very old school computers there as well. So I really enjoyed this. I loved the medium. It worked really well. I was a bit kind of skeptical about how the whole Choose Your Own Adventure thing would work on Netflix. And the minute they announced it, I was very skeptical. It felt very much like a gimmick, to be honest. It felt a bit odd. And, well, it worked, to be honest. The only problem is the fact that it felt very, very like the old school kind of adventure games where it just choose your thing and then it cuts straight to a different thing. And it didn't feel very seamless, which I guess the only way to do it is to edit and make multiple different paths. And there are multiple different paths for Bandersantch as well. There are many different kind of pathways. And the problem here is, the one problem I have is the fact that it was a bit too short. And we never actually got to really invest in these characters. It was very much just a short, contained episode. And, well, you can watch it for almost 3 hours by playing out all the different options. It does let you do that at the end as well. You are allowed to go through and have the option of doing all kinds of crazy different endings, such as the F yeah ending, where you are fighting your psychotherapist, and then your dad comes in and you fight him, and then you run out the window. It's absolutely bizarre. There are some really cool, fun Easter egg endings, but there is one true ending that I think is in my opinion, the true ending. Now, there are endings where you kill your father, you become a absolute maniac, but there is one ending where you actually don't release the game. It gets 5 out of 5, but then what happens is it gets pulled off the shelves, and then Colin's daughter in the future then makes the product that you're watching right now. She's making the Netflix version of this game, and that is really, really curious. And that happens when you go back in time and you go forward, and then you open the locker and you find out that you've been controlled all this time, and then you kill your father, and then you bury, or you chop up the body, and then you release the game. And in the future, that is really, really cool. And there are some really cool Easter eggs in that. It cuts to modern day, and we see Michael Callow, the PM from the first episode, who had to have coitus with the pig. And then we saw him, and we don't really see him, but we see his name pop up, and he wins Celebrity Bake Off, which is really, really funny. That I absolutely love that, and that's a modern take. Now, there's so many, like I said, there's so many different endings, and I just wish we went a bit more in depth, and you never really felt like you had much control whatsoever over this, because you make a decision, Colin pretty much says it's wrong, and then you go back, and that's I didn't like that. But then again, the show is about control, and you don't really have much control. Someone else is controlling you, controlling him. Absolute mind-blowing, mind-melting. But what I really liked in this was the fact that there was just so many Easter eggs. There are Easter eggs everywhere. So let's start off with the most obvious one, which has been absolutely talked about everywhere, was the fact that you saw the poster for Metalhead, and you saw the little robot dogs that were in the Metalhead episode from last season. Now, this episode is notable for the fact that it is black and white. So what if this episode was simply the game that Colin made? What if future episodes we see a black and white episode, and you're inside the game that they make at Tuckersoft? That, again, mind blown. But again, we also have Saint Juniper, which of course is the doctor's surgery that Stefan goes to, he's made to go to with his father, and well, that is of obvious reference to San Junipero. Now, in the newspaper articles that at the end, we have mentions of Space Fleet, which is of course where the USS Callister is from as well. So the USS Callister is from Space Fleet, and we had the starting episode of last season, which was really, really good, by the way. Now, one of the biggest things here is we see the symbol. We see the symbol that goes like that. And that is, of course, if you've watched the White Bear episode, which was the kind of the criminal sort of Running Man style thing, where we saw people filming people on the run and getting attacked. Well, that was the symbol from White Bear. It's a symbol that they're wearing on their balaclavas and things like that, which I thought was damn cool. I absolutely loved that. And as well, there is a mention in the previous newspaper that I mentioned about a love computer, a love thing, which is of course the Hang the DJ episode, the precursor to that. And we also have mentions of 15 million media, which is of course a mention to 15 million credits episode, which featured Daniel Kaluuya. Now, there is, of course, Black Mirror is open to a myriad of interpretation. And there's endings such as where it's a government conspiracy. There are endings where we actually see Colin die. And I might go back and see what happens if you jump again instead of Colin. It would be interesting if you then take over control of Colin. I think that would be great. But overall, let's maybe not think too much into it, otherwise we will go crazy ourselves. And I guess that Bandersantch really is a poisoned chalice, because in the future we have the daughter of Colin go mad as well. So that's why I think that is the true ending, in my opinion. But that is it for this video. Please drop a like, please subscribe. See you soon. Goodbye.